Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pummu Indycar series. We are here at Pocono Raceway, also known as the Tricky Triangle to many. And I believe this triangle is about to be very tricky for a lot of our drivers. That sucked. That intro really sucked. Whoever writes these scripts needs to get fired. Anyways, we are here in Pocono. Sorry, I had to message someone. Joining me today in the commentary box, technically, is War Sniper. However, you guys will not be able to hear him due to technical issues on my side. Oh, TSA has messed up the vote massively. I need to make sure that you guys can hear me over these cars, which so far, looking at the thing, is a resounding no. Why? Okay. I'm gonna have to turn these two down. Well, there we go. Now you guys should be able to hear me. Oh my god. TSA is struggling so hard to figure out how many laps we are going to do. While I have time, I'll go over qualifying. ET is on pole position once again, and once again Pepper is directly behind him. We have a new face onto the podium, King. Probably his highest qualifying position so far this season. Nice qualifying from him. We have Feinstein P4, Pro Gamer in P5. We have Train Pig in P6. We have Useless P7, Insane in P8, Daniel in P9. Zero in P10, Neymar in P11, John in P12, and Slippy and Dilge barely make the cutoff. And everyone else below there sadly did not make the cutoff. A few people are very surprising to see not make the cutoff. Others, oh my goodness, excuse me, others are a little bit more expected. As we turn the camera this way and we see all of these drivers going and getting ready for the start of this race. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. All of these cars, all of these models are new car models, to my knowledge. So the systems are definitely a lot different to what they're used to dealing with. So we will try to ride on board with the leader. The spectate system is broken. And there at the front we can see the brand new AMR safety car, or pace car if you would, I guess because we're an Indycar, leading the pack. My first ever livery is that car actually, so it doesn't look the best admittedly, but you know what? For my first livery, I think it looks alright. And for our second race ever in Pocono, I think this race is about to be alright. Dirty air, definitely a big factor around here. Fuel is going to be a major problem for all the drivers here, as I believe we get ready to go green this time by here in Pocono. And we are green here, and Pepper and King both get an amazing restart compared to ET. Pepper's already down the inside of ET, and now they're 3 wide for the lead at the start. But Pepper, I believe, got the jump on the start there and is able to take the lead. And King is looking for P2. Meanwhile, behind them, they're almost 4 wide for what would be just P4, I believe. These top 3 here just starting to try and run away with the lead a bit, as someone decides to mess with the timing board a little bit there up top, so we might have to deal with that a bit. So pretty good start from Pepper, a really good start from all of these in the top 3, all of them just able to space out away from the rest of the pack, but this dirty air is, well, dirty, and it will beat everyone up as the race goes on, especially with the tire wear. Knee goes a little bit high out of turn 1, and that's going to allow King to go down the inside. Meanwhile, towards the back, we have a massive pack where basically everyone not in the top 3 is. And we're gonna go on board with Pro Gamer, who is in the middle of this pack. Findsy, Neymar, and Daniel just ahead of him. The rest of the pack directly behind him, including Useless in that Red Bull livery there. Pro Gamer lagging a little bit, but that's usually the case for some of these drivers. And so the race goes on. I believe Yeetie, Pepper, and King still all three battling for the lead. We'll actually go back on board with them. Yeetie is now back into the lead, followed by Pepper in that Mission Winnow livery, and King in what looks to be a Lotus livery. And there we see, very far in the back, we see Useless get punted into the inside there through some contact. Not sure what happened there. Now the timing board's gonna get a little bit cluttered as some names that don't belong there gets added to the list. We'll try to crop those out a little bit there. And the timing board gets reset again. So I think someone's doing a little bit of tomfoolery. Yeetie having a decent restart now. Didn't have the best of lap ones, but he's able to make the most of it. Now he's in the lead and getting a little bit of a decent gap to Pepper and King behind him. And right now, Pepper and King would be really hoping to be able to work with each other to be able to regain and catch back up to Yeetie. But right now it seems like they're battling a little bit. DSA, our race controller, also going through technical difficulties this race weekend. He cannot see the leaderboard and he cannot see the lap counter. Both of which will probably be pretty inconvenient. I believe Yeetie just made some contact with the wall there that slowed him down. That's going to allow Pepper to make a very easy move there. Or was that some sort of team order there to put Pepper in the lead? I know that some of these walls are very sticky for these cars to get through, but I don't believe the wall he made contact with there is one of them. Excuse me. So I believe some sort of team order there in 6th Gear Motorsports will put Pepper in the lead and Yeetie right behind him. But now that's going to put Yeetie under pressure from King behind, as the rest of the pack behind him, behind these three, excuse me, really have no answer to this start. Oh, and Yeetie actually made some contact with the wall there as well, some awkward content. That's going to put him further behind King, and that's going to allow King to take P2. So Yeetie down the inside of King now, and he will actually have enough draft to just make the overtake down the straight, which honestly, considering the dirty air, is probably preferable. But King not giving it up just yet. And now they go through turns 3 and King falling back a little bit, taking a very interesting line there through turns 3. I'm sure if race control saw that, they would not be that happy. And actually ET is starting to catch up to Pepper, so maybe this team order was to get ET just some drafts so he could start doing some quick laps, excuse me. But I mean, I would have thought it's a little bit early to be worrying about the fastest lap of the race. And now I didn't catch what you said there, my assistant, as Yeetie and Pepper definitely, I believe Yeetie is definitely faster, but Pepper made some contact into the wall in turns 2, which should have been a really easy opportunity for E.T. to overtake him, but E.T. just lifts off the throttle, so a lot of team orders really playing into this race, I think. And I think 6th Gear Motorsport is really looking to get Pepper onto that top spot on the podium this race weekend, but they have to be careful to do so in a way that won't jeopardize their entire race. Anyways, to my assistant, you said you could hear me better, right? Alrighty. I am actually kind of debating on taking my headphones off, because technically I don't need to hear the cars, but it's probably a lot better to be able to hear what everyone else is hearing. I'll keep my headphones like this though, since you can hear me. E.T. and oh, E.T. and Pepper, huge contact on the front stretch. They both go into the pit and the pit separator wall there. That's gonna put King into P2 and around the outside of Pepper. Meanwhile, I open chat for a moment. I see some drama happening involving Zero, and I would really like any sort of update from my assistant here, if he's able to witness any of that. Alright. Oh. Alrighty. So far to me it sounds like Zero and I is somewhere in this pack of cars battling very aggressively, considering the noise I just heard from my assistant there. Unfortunately, I can't find a way to make you guys here in the recording at home able to hear him, so I will just be getting little status updates from him on the midfield and back of the pack if any drama happens there. As E.T. down the inside of Pepper into the outside wall, and E.T. will finally overtake him. So maybe team orders are starting to become a little bit less lenient towards Pepper achieving a win here. They have definitely been playing it out smoothly, but after that contact into the pit wall, I would not doubt it if both of them started to get a little bit more careful. And oh, what happened there to King? Oh my goodness. Oh my, what happened to King? I think King clipped some sort of part of the wall that's supposed to prevent wall riding, I believe, or just some sort of awkward bump, and it sends him into the inside and out of this battle for the lead. I mean, speaking of this battle for the lead, now E.T. and Pepper switching places again. They're probably about to do it here on the front stretch as well, as the draft is extremely powerful around here. But we'll just have to wait and see. So far, E.T. just hoping to bide his time, maybe hoping for some sort of switchback move here through turns 1 and 1. Only turn 1, sorry, I'm so used to the 4-turn ovals. You know, I'm so used to just them going through turns 1 and 2, but here it's only 3 turns. Oh, and I believe there was a little bit of contact there between Pepper and E.T. as well. And excuse me, but hydration is important. Oh, what do you have to say, my friend? So towards the back of the field we have some sort of bumps on the track, maybe. Maybe they're just clipping the parts where the asphalt ends and the grass begins, maybe, but apparently people towards the back of the pack are starting to bounce around a good bit, and it's causing one of them to lose positions. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Though potentially potentially, I do believe that's probably just a bit of a bump where the grass begins or ends. Meanwhile, towards the back of the pack, there's apparently contact between Neymar and Daniel, and we'll go on board. And we'll go on board with Daniel actually to witness to see Daniel and Neymar battling side by side. I noticed their names fall very quickly down to order there for a moment, and now here we see them battling for P10. But they are starting to catch up to this pack ahead of them. Up ahead, we might be able to even see the names of Useless and Findsy battling it out as well. And actually, I would love to go on board with this battle. We'll go on board with the quote-unquote Red Bull of Useless here, battling the McLaren of Findsy. A thing I'm pretty sure some F1 fans would be drooling over here. Sadly, this battle is only for P5. Meanwhile, just behind this battle, Neymar and Zero are apparently having a lot of contact in between each other as well. I'll go on board with Zero here to see if we can witness some of this. This is a pretty big battle actually here between all of them. About a 5-way battle in between them, as Neymar taking a very interesting racing line. Mr. Assistant, could you maybe let race control know of such an act? Oh, and I believe contact between Zero and Daniel there, that's gonna slow them down. Insane makes an awkward turn into turn 1 as well. They're all taking the apron, it's almost chaos here, and Neymar very much hoping that he can escape whatever this chaos is. Did you let race control know? Actually, no. Never mind. Alrighty. Oh, and now Zero goes through the gas as well. It's DSA or VAM. V-A-M. If you need to get... Alrighty. So Zero go through the grass as well. These drivers are definitely starting to take some interesting lines through turns 3. I wouldn't say they're the recommended lines, but at the end of the day, I guess if race control isn't gonna do anything about it, why not do it if someone else is doing it? I'm sure us sim racers haven't heard that from somewhere before. Anyways, so Zero getting pressure from Insane behind him. And now Neymar doing a little bit of wall riding as well. Neymar, not the cleanest race so far for Neymar, it seems. We'll have to go on board with someone else. Go on board with Pro Gamer, who is side by side with Neymar. Meanwhile, at the front, Yeetie and Pepper are still battling it out. And we'll go on board with this battle for just a few moments to see how it's going. Going through turns 3, Yeetie is in the lead now. So I believe this battle is definitely going to be one that lasts for the entire race. We'll go back on board with... We'll go back on board with Pro Gamer, who decides to follow Neymar in their racing line through the grass. And now race control decides to get involved, telling both of them to stay above the grass. So race control finally getting involved after being notified a few times of this situation. And this entire race is starting to spread out massively. Now Yeetie has Pepper right on his tail. But these two are teammates, so I'm sure they... No, never mind. I will never say that they're teammates and they'll hold off again. Pepper sends it down the inside, but just the dirty air washes him up the track and almost into the wall. And through turns 2, Yeetie still holds the lead with Pepper behind. And we'll go back on board with Ice, aka Pro Gamer. I'll call him Pro Gamer because that's the name I can see here. That's a line. Oh! Yeah, I saw that too, Mr. System. Big contact there, Sim 0 into the inside. Now I believe Neymar's Delge and Pro Gamer are gonna get in to the wall, outside wall, and they have. That's gonna put Insane right behind them as well. And Pro Gamer, aka Ice, experiencing some input lag here down the front straight. Front straight? What in the world? The front straight, excuse me. That's what the little swerve to the side was there, towards the end of the pit lane. We'll pick a random car to go on board with. Meanwhile, Train Pig is now in P3, which I guess wouldn't mean that he was able to escape the pack battle between King and Useless, so he's having a pretty good race, considering he hasn't been in really any of the he hasn't been in a few of the races recently. As I've just noticed that someone just went falling down the timing board there, and I'm not sure why that was. We'll go on board with Slippy now. Towards the back of the field, back of the pack, in the Love's livery, who I go on board with and witness as he completely cuts the corner at turn 2. These drivers are all taking their turn of just cutting the corners, aren't they? And then I open chat to see what everyone is saying, or what the drivers are saying, and one of them is basically begging someone to get out of their draft. So that's just how powerful the draft is around here, causing mental damage, it seems. This time Slippy takes a little bit of a more acceptable line. And then I go on board with Pro Gamer. And Pro Gamer might be pitting this lap, actually. If he isn't, I would not be surprised to see a warning. No, Pro Gamer will be the first. So we have our first rare and elusive green flag pit stop from Ice. He might be having a little bit trouble trying to figure out how to get his car into a pit stall there, but now he gets out of the pit stop. The first of probably many green flag pit stops. I would not be surprised if we start... Alrighty. My assistant has decided to leave me for a few moments, so we'll just stay on board with E.T. and Pepper battling for the lead still. E.T. still in the lead. Might have gone an even bigger gap there as well. Pepper might have made a mistake. No, Pepper sends it almost down the inside of E.T. He's not close enough to make it stick, though. And so they will continue. Train Pig far behind them, but in P3, just out of sight of that pack. behind him for P4. Pro Gamer, the first person to go a lap down here, but also the first person to pit, so we'll have to see how his undercut performs. This race weekend is definitely going to be interesting as well. They're testing new car models as well, which is why you might see these yellow bars there, where the steering column would be essentially. Oh, Yeetie clips the inside curb there, and it sends him up the track. That's gonna put Pepper right into the lead. Oh my, that was a little bit scary for Yeetie. And you guys might have seen me respond to one of the drivers in chat. I believe we're about to see even more green flag pit stops, that drivers are starting to wonder what the pit lane limit is, which would be 100. I'm not sure what the measure of speed is that these cars use, but whatever it is, it's 100. But yeah, you might be able to see these yellow bars there and everything that you haven't seen the entire rest of the season. That's because these cars are being tested. They are brand new models of the car. Oh, and Slippy gets a drive-through penalty. Oh boy. That is... that is going to really put a dent in Slippy's race, I believe. Not even in the top 10, he's gonna have to serve a drive-through penalty. Along that, he still has to make a pit stop. And now Pepper and Yeetie go side by side into turn 2. Definitely one of the easier corners to go side by side in. And Pepper will have the lead going out of turns 3. I mean, the draft is powerful enough here, Nat. The draft is powerful enough here that it would make sense for... It would make... I completely forgot what I was saying mid-sentence. Oh my goodness. We'll move on. Welcome back, Mr. Assistant. You've missed it. Slippy now has a drive-through penalty. And has, I believe, 2 more laps to serve it, unless he's already serving it. Oh well. Slippy has 1 more lap to serve the penalty. And I believe that's... Never mind. I thought I saw a car exiting the pit here while riding on board with E.T. Unfortunately, it is not. And you know what? While I'm thinking about it, we'll go on board with Pro Gamer. Pro Gamer is a lap down, so he obviously is a little bit less... He's a little bit less important right now on his own result. However, Train Pig behind him is having a really good race. Alrighty. Slippy is now apparently... Slippy is now serving his drive-through penalty. But the reason why I mention Pro Gamer here, who is about to go into the outside wall... The reason I mention Pro Gamer is he's on fresh tires, therefore he has more grip than the leaders ahead of him. But the big thing here is he's starting to catch up, sort of. If not catch up, he's definitely able to keep up with the leaders. Train Pig behind him would not have any chance to catch up to the leaders whatsoever without Pro Gamer being there. So Pro Gamer being a lap down and just behind the leaders might actually help Train Pig become a part of this battle for the lead. I mean, actually, it really does look like Pro Gamer is starting to... Oh, there's contact and both of the leaders go into the pit. Train Pig will go into the pit as well. And I believe Eustace is going to stay out to try and overcut all of them, as well as King. So I was wondering how long it would take all these drivers to start pitting, and I believe I have found the answer. King will be, well, Useless will now inherit the lead, followed by King. Slippy, I believe, will be a lap down because of that drive-through. And we'll go back on board with Yeetie, and Pepper is at least 4 positions ahead of Yeetie after that pit stop. I guess Pepper just had a much better pit stop, and now he's he's in. What's up? Oh boy, so we are about to see a wave of pit stops, I imagine, as Useless comes into the pit as well. And oh, drawn into the pit limiter wall! Oh, massive crash, but he's able to keep it going. And meanwhile, Train Pig will start to overtake Yeetie as well. Yeetie has had an awful pit stop. Zero is probably the only one in the top 5 that has yet to pit now. And Pepper has a massive lead. Pepper has a massive lead, and it did not help that Yeetie came out in the middle of a pack. He got pushed to the back of the pack because they were battling. And actually, excuse me, King has yet to pit. So King will hold on to the lead, but he does need to make a pit stop as well. Zero needs to make a pit stop as well, and Zero will pit. And so now, the last person in really the top 5, I believe, to not pit would have to be King and maybe Daniel. I don't remember if I saw Daniel in the pits or not. Meanwhile, DSA giving John a warning for, and I quote, whatever that was. I'm not sure if you caught whatever that was. According to Race Control there, Mr. Assistant, did you? Oh, okay. So King's still yet to pit Yeetie in essentially P2, but now he has Train Pig directly behind him. And Yeetie has absolutely no one to protect him now, or to help him with draft. So now Pepper just needs to put his head down and just focus on his driving and focus on getting the right laps, and he can really win it here in Pocono. Or as us in the Pummu Indycar series call it, Poke. Oh no. Hey man, I'm not the one who came up with the pun, okay? Oh, and King, I believe, has pit. Maybe that might be King in the pit. Oh, Yeetie into the outside wall. Out of turn 3, that's gonna put Train Pig ahead of him, and King in the pits. That's gonna put Pepper in the lead now. And with a very comfortable lead, I don't think Train Pig is gonna be able to have Pepper's draft either. So now really this has turned from a battle for the lead with your teammate for Yeetie to a battle for maybe P2 by the end of the race. And speaking of battle for P2, Yeetie just gets basically the overspeed compared to Train Pig into turn 3, and he will be able to easily overtake him there. And now he's at risk for Train Pig doing basically the same. Oh boy. I knew this race was gonna get very spread out very quickly. I knew the dirty air would be too much for a lot of packs to form. But the packs that have really been here since the start, I believe, are starting to disperse as well. And this battle for the lead, I can't say it has been blown wide open, but it has definitely been blown away for Yeetie unless he's able to catch up to Pepper. we'll have to see. Yeetie has been fastest all throughout the weekend without draft. And I mean, we'll just have to wait and see if Yeetie is going to be able to catch up to Pepper enough to get some of that draft. Because really, oh, contact there with the wall. Some sort of awkward contact sends Yeetie into the grass, and that is really going to damage Yeetie's race. He's able to recover from it nicely. Useless and Findsy too busy battling behind. I've opened my radio and have noticed that my assistant sort of died while I was commentating that, so that's, interesting. What's Slippy asking in the radio? I can't read it. I don't want to leave the chat open for too... Oh, Train Pig got caught on the wall! Oh, Train Pig damaged his own race as well. There's a bit of a sticky wall into the entrances of all the corners because Ninja wants to really punish drivers for wall riding too much, and Train Pig got caught in that sticky barrier, and that's gonna put Yeetie back into P2. So both of these drivers have made mistakes into turn 1. Anyways, what was Slippy asking? Sorry. Oh boy. Slippy in the radio asking what team Pepper belongs to, because I believe he wants to make an agreement of a sort. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. If he doesn't get an answer, you can tell him he's with Sixth Gear Motorsports. Or just Sixth Gear. It's ET's team, actually. And so meanwhile, we have Pepper, who is now very, very comfortably in the lead. After both Yeetie and Train Pig make mistakes. Yeetie and Train Pig are going to be probably battling for this P2 position for about as long as they're able to. Excuse me. And just behind them, both Yeetie and Train Pig need to be very careful about how hard they start battling each other. Because just behind them, they have a Useless and a Findsy directly behind them, and although they're battling as well, it does not take a lot. It really does not take a lot for the draft to basically turn someone's race upside down. Meanwhile, Neymar is starting to complain that Slippy might be corner cutting again, which I am sure Race Control will be very, very interested to see if he actually is. And I believe Train Pig is very, very interested in maybe making another move for P2. I believe he might try to go down the inside, but I don't think he's close enough to be able to make it work. And so he will be right on the tail of ET towards turns 2. ET's gonna go down the inside, gonna go defensive. But ET goes on the inside, goes defensive. Train Pig lives off the throttle because he knows the outside will not work. And so this battle for the lead, or this battle for P2 really is about to turn into really a battle of strategy. As up ahead, Pepper is starting to catch up to lap traffic, which might be able to help Yeetie and Train Pig. The dirty air is absolutely disgusting as someone decides to press the wrong button. So Pepper needs to be careful and needs to be quick about getting past the lap traffic if he wants to hold on to the lead. And I don't think Pepper is having that easy of a time getting past the lap traffic up ahead. I'm sure he is absolutely begging race control to tell them to move out the way. And I do believe he has finally made it past. What's up? Alrighty. Well, we know what's going on at the front. We'll go on board with Daniel, who is a part of this battle. That my assistant here is... Oh, diligent to the pits. That is odd, to say the least, but he goes into the pits. Well, people in the recording, you guys have just seen a very angry message from Race Control, and congratulations, because you guys will probably be the last people to know about what DSA just said. Race Control has just messaged me and told me that they are very unentertained by Slippy's driving standards, to say the least. So we'll have to see how that affects his finishing order at the end of this race, as Daniel might be looking to go down the inside of John here. John goes defensive very late. They make contact. This battle is for P10, still points and everything. Meanwhile, up ahead, Pepper's still with a decent lead. Actually gained some on ET and Train Pig, which I thought would have been the opposite effect through that lap traffic, but apparently not. ET and Train Pig still battling it out. Useless and Findsy still battling it out. And King is sort of in no man's land as Daniel sends it down the inside of John again. I don't know if there was contact there or not. I didn't quite catch it. But now Daniel will be ahead of them. This battle's still for P10. Pro Gamer probably looking in his mirrors, hoping that they don't start catching up and they keep battling like this. P9 is a very respectable finish, especially if you're one of the lower... Well, I mean, no offense by this, but one of the lower drivers in the standings. A finish is a finish, as I believe we'll go on... Oh, Daniel and John into the outside wall there. But we will look to go on board with Yeetie and Train Pig. Still in this battle for P2 here. Meanwhile, Pepper has more lap traffic to deal with. But I believe Pepper has already made it past. So Pepper doesn't have to worry about it too much. Train Pig there, that little swerve to the left was more input lag. I'm very impressed that there has not been a lot of that this race. The developers of this game, Pummu himself, he made it a mission to try and get a lot of parts removed from these cars so that they were a lot better to handle, especially in heavy situations like this. And so far, I think it has been a success. Though I think a lot of drivers will disagree with me there because of the dirty air, as up ahead we see Insane basically go into the grass to try and battle Pepper. But Pepper will still be ahead of him into turn 1. Oh, and Train Pig down the inside of Yeetie into turn 1 as well. And now they're gonna go side by side towards turn 2. But I believe Yeetie has more speed out of the edge than he does. And Pepper is really starting to fall back, and actually there might have been contact between Insane and Pepper, and that's gonna put Pepper right into the grasp of Train Pig and Yeetie. Some sort of contact between himself and Insane, and Pepper's massive lead has really been ruined. And now Now, now we have a three-way battle for the lead again. But this time, instead of King, it's gonna be Train Pig involved. Race Control sending a message to Insane, that lap car that made contact with Pepper and everything, just to try and be a lot more careful with the leaders because he is a lap down. And now Pepper will have Train Pig and E.T. directly behind them. And we'll go on board with E.T. I thought that onboard camera would look a lot better than it did. I will be 100% honest, so we will keep it on this outside camera here. And now it's going to be a big draft battle down into turn 1. E.T. will probably be very keen in making a move for the lead as soon as he can. And Pepper getting a little bit washed up the track out of the inside because of him clipping the apron, but he's still going to be in the lead. But now Train Pig will be the closest to him, and Train Pig and E.T. side by side through turns 2. E.T. into the wall bit, that's going to hurt his exit, but not by a lot. Pepper still has a lot of pressure behind him. And oh boy, Pepper really never can catch a break, huh? It seems like every time I mention Pepper being in the lead, something goes horrifically wrong. Oh no. Still though, another podium for Sixth Gear Motorsports at the least so far, if the race were to finish the way it is. Or another double podium, I should say. But now Pepper needs to worry about whether or not he can win it or not. Pepper really hoping that E.T. is a lot closer to Train Pig than Train Pig is to him. And Train Pig might actually be sending it down the inside into turn 3. He is, but he's not close enough to go side by side. But Train Pig starting to get very impatient with wanting to make a move and actually forces E.T. out of the draft as well. Albeit probably unintentionally. And this battle for the lead, I believe, is about to be very aggressive. And we will just have to stay on board with E.T. for the rest of it. 7 laps to go here in Pocono Raceway. And we have ourselves a 3-way battle for the lead. And I believe Pepper just went into the wall and Train Pig was right behind him. So Train Pig unable to capitalize, but he's still going to be able to get a draft. And he's going to go down the inside. He's going to clip that inside curb like E.T. did earlier. That's going to hurt his exit. And E.T. pulls off a massive double overtake for the lead, albeit with 6 laps to go. Definitely would be entertaining to see if he was able to do that on the final lap. So, 6 laps to go here in Pocono. And now E.T.'s in the lead with Pepper and Train Pig behind. And this has so far been a very, I don't want to say a clean race, because obviously there's been a little, E.T. pushing Pepper towards the apron, going very defensive with the lead. Pepper just holds his ground, holds onto the inside line, and Pepper will hold on to the lead going down the front stretch, and E.T. goes down to P3. So I believe the strategy here is gonna have to be make him final move into turns 3, because these other two turns are the better opportunities for overtaking. But at the end of the day, the draft is so powerful that a better exit out of turn 3 really is all you need to win it. So it's definitely going to come down to the wire. These 3 battling for the lead are starting to catch up to lap traffic as well, and that's really going to help Pepper, who's in the lead now, try and run away with it. E.T.'s taking a much higher line here. He might be trying to take a little bit of a switchback line, or just some sort of line to be able to capitalize on getting a better exit. So far, I believe it might have worked with him. No, it has not. I thought he might have been able to overtake Train Pig there, but just unable to. And now just ahead of these three, Pro Gamer and Insane side by side. Both of them are lap traffic, but both of them are battling. And if they battle for too long and too hard in front of these leaders, they're gonna get involved with this battle for the lead as well. And it really is all about to come down to the wire. We are about to have 3 laps to go, or 4 laps to go, I should say, I think. Maybe I'm not very good at thinking on my feet, I'll be honest. I'm just gonna assume we're 3 laps to go here. I believe I'm right. And if I'm wrong, I'm sure the comment section will murder me for it. Pepper's still in the lead, Train Pig just behind him, and Yeety's still in P3. Pro Gamer now, I believe it's close enough that Pepper's gonna start having their draft. Race Control has sent a message to Pro Gamer and Insane that the leaders are behind them and that they need to not interfere. Pro Gamer will pull onto the apron knowing that he needs to get out the way, but I believe the damage has been done by him already. Oh man, I thought so for a second that Pepper was having an awful exit there, but I guess it was just a self-inflicted wound. But still 2 laps to go here at Pocono. No, I believe it's 3 laps to go actually, excuse me. I'm gonna whatever, who cares. Pepper's in the lead, Yeety's in P2, Train Pig in P3 now, and Pepper still has the draft of Insane ahead, I believe. And now it's gonna be a big question, will Insane hurt Pepper's race again? Or will he even have the opportunity to, as Pepper hurts his own run? He clips the outside wall there. That's gonna allow Train Pig to overtake him. Yeety looking for some sort of switchback move on the both of them. But Pepper will still retain the lead. 2 laps to go here in Pocono. Actually 2 laps to go this time. Excuse me for having my numbers wrong. And now, this is where all of it really does matter. I believe Pepper, with that contact into the wall, is no longer in the draft of Insane. I believe, but Insane does seem to be slowing up. And this is really all about to go down to the wire. Race Control now telling Pilot John and Insane the leaders are behind. And we are white flag here in Pocono, and this is where it all matters. This is where Pepper can become a winner here in Pocono, and this is where Train Pig can be a winner. Or this is, oh man, this is about to go all down to the wire. Pepper does have a pretty decent lead. In fact, Pepper might barely have draft. He's actually starting to gain a lot on Train Pig and Yeety, which is not what you want to see if you're either of them. Pepper's still with a lead. He does have the draft. Pepper has the draft of the lap cars ahead of him. He just needs to hope that he gets a good exit out of here. Pepper will be your winner here in Pocono. And Yeety will take P2. And I believe Findsy might have been able to might have overtaken Useless at the line. There goes King. We'll wait for the rest of the pack to cross the line here. No, Useless was actually able to beat him out at the line. So Useless will get P4. And here we go at the line. Slippy 0 and then Neymar, I think. Yes, I am right there. Meanwhile, my assistant is telling me that Neymar was able to pull off that overtake by using a very interesting racing line once again. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes with race control. And there you go. And meanwhile, we have the final few cars coming across the line. Oh, never mind. Never mind about another car crossing the line. So Pepper wins it here at Pocono. Very nice. Unfortunate race for King, though. He started, I believe, P3 or P4 at the start that race. Unfortunately for him, he's gonna finish P6. Fine seeing Useless having a really good race as well. And we will just go on board and appreciate Pepper's win here. So here is your race winner, Pepper. An amazing race there for him. An amazing victory. Really good performance to be able to turn that P2 start as into a win. Probably a lot closer than what he wanted it at the end. But in the end of the day, Pepper does win it. Very surprisingly, I think that was probably the first race we've gone green for the entire race so far this season. If I'm wrong, then please correct me in the comments below, excuse me. But an amazing race for Pepper, an amazing finish. Meanwhile, while the race begins to cool down, I'll just show off the brand new AMR safety car. We don't have an actual safety car model, so I sort of made an AMR car that got turned into the safety car somehow. Not sure how that happened. Definitely fits my outfit, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was your Pocono Raceway, well, race, I guess. That was your round 5 here in the Pummu IndyCar series. Really good race for everyone, a lot of people. Definitely very consistent with where they started up. Definitely unfortunate to see some driving standards here decrease by quite a lot. I'm definitely not pointing my finger at anyone. And well, there's your race winner here. Oh, well. And there goes the server. Well, oh no, I'm still recording. Oh no, I'm still recording Roblox. Nope, not gonna show my homepage. Well, there's your Pocono Raceway, round 5 of the Pummu IndyCar series, done and done. Pepper's first win of the season. Finally got it done. Definitely a very entertaining race there. And I really did start thinking that that race was about to go to Yeetie or Train Pig after Insane just unfortunately was at the wrong place and the wrong time for Pepper. A lot of contact in between them, but Pepper was able to hold on. Join us next weekend, February 26th, for the Pummu IndyCar Series Round 6 at the Indianapolis Road Course. Oh god, that's gonna be awful. Thank you all for watching and tune in next time. See ya.